Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk. Today's episode we are going to be reviewing Trail of Nightmares and I always forget to write the location. It's close to Mansfield, Ohio. I forget the name. It's like 10 minutes away from Ohio State Reformatory Blood Prison. And there's actually quite a few haunts in this area, but Trail of Nightmares is one that we haven't been to since 2018, and we didn't get to finish it because we got downpoured on. So we were excited to finally get to, go back there, and there's not that many good haunted trails left out there. Not really. So we were excited to go to, a pretty traditional, haunted trail. But yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, an old-fashioned haunted trail, and if you're going to be visiting one of the many haunts that are in the Mansfield area, make sure you stick around for a review of Trail of Nightmares. So as we always do before we get into the categories, we talk about kind of the pull up to the place. And I will say, I remember the first year going to this many years ago, I was like, oh, this is an interesting location. And it still is because it's literally behind the storage units.
Yes.
And the parking's wild, the way you have to kind of weave in and out. And you just kind of, sometimes, the one person was kind of parking beside a boat in a docked storage unit section, which is funny.
Yeah, they parked us in front of actual storage units.
But yeah, it's just a really interesting place to have it. And it's cool, too, because you can't see the trail at all. You can't see anything besides, a red light in the woods.
Yeah.
So you have no idea what's back there, which makes it really cool. And that's why, the first year we went, we were just like, what is this going to be? But, yeah. I don't think I'm trying to think if there was any food vendors or anything like that there. There might have been.
There was one trailer, that had, what was it? Because I was like, oh, walking tacos.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it looks like they have a little bit, not a ton, of different activities and stuff to do. It's mainly, get your ticket and get in line kind of situation. But yeah, that being said, we'll go ahead and get into the categories now, which as always means you must refer to the Book of the Dead. Book of the Dead. Book of the Dead. Book of the Dead. So as always, we're going to start with sets and props. Now, again, this is a more traditional trail. It's a little bit of an old school haunt, but they do have some cool stuff still back there as far as sets and props. Some unique things, I will say.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting how the trail is lit because it's very dark, which I like. And also the trail is very even. There's very little hills. You don't really have to watch your footing too much. I mean, it's still a trail and it's still in the woods, but they've done a good job making the path pretty accessible. I don't think this is handicap accessible. I might be wrong because there's ramps. Someone can maybe let me know in the comments if it is handicap accessible. I'm not sure. I could see it possibly being. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I guess.
There's some sections that it wouldn't be, but maybe could bypass. But the trail is, pretty even and easy to walk. It's nothing like that circle of screens where it's walk up a hill for 10 minutes. So that is really nice. So you kind of start by meandering around, and they have these. They kind of look like a light you would see almost like a diner or something that just hangs down from a rope, like a dome light. And they just kind of have those throughout the trail. But it's cool because you can't see the wires. It just kind of looks like there's just floating lights just illuminating the trail, which is neat.
And some of them are actually programmed so that they will go on and off, or they'll change color as well. I think
there was two that did that, but yeah.
Well, there was a couple that turned red, and then there was the one that actually turned off.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I remember that, and I think one of them was flickering a little bit too.
One of the first scenes is a bathroom scene, which is interesting. You come across that. There is it's a lab scene that leads into a blackout maze, because there's a lot of so how it's kind of structured is mostly when you're on the trail, there's nothing happening. Yeah. It's scene, like a little mini haunt type thing, and then trail, and then scene, trail, and that's kind of how the flow of it goes. But there's some things there's looked like a wood carved skull on a tree stump that was interesting. But
there was occasionally some stuff
a decoration here or there, a creepy doll.
There was the creepy dolls and stuff like that, and then occasionally there was some creepy sound effects coming from the woods as well.
Yeah. It's kind of cool too because you can look at the distance. You can't see much, but you can see kind of a little bit of things you might be going to, which is kind of neat. So the next scene I remember after that, there was a witch's hut I don't remember that from before. It might have been there, but that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
It is like a hut made out of sticks. That was neat. There's this really cool, like, strobe maze, which it's really cool because of the actors, which we'll talk about there, but there's like it's kind of a maze. I don't really know if you can go the wrong way or not.
It was really disorientating.
They had, like, staggered strobes.
Yeah, and it was really, like, I literally thought that the walls were moving. Like, we were walking through there, and I'm trying to, like, get my footing, and I'm like, why are the walls moving? Just the way they had it strobed was just really mind-bending.
Yeah. There was a pretty cool cemetery scene with the mausoleum that you end up entering. That's really cool, like, big gate, too, in the cemetery. That was neat. One of my favorite scenes, and I don't remember this from before. Well, I remember the village, but there's a diner that leads into that you have to go through and when you get to the village, which... We're going to talk about that section more in actors for sure. Really, probably one of my favorite actor moments we've had this year. Just hilarious. But there's a cool cave scene that uses one of those, like, laser swamps, and there's a dragon in there that comes out. I don't know if it was a puppet or not. I don't know if it was a puppet or if it was a, like, actual just animatronic. Not sure.
I don't know, but it was probably one of my favorite uses of this laser swamp.
Yeah.
Because it was just the way they did it. Because, like, you first walk in and it's, like, low, and they actually had noises that it sounded like you were walking through water. So there was actually, like, splashing noises and dripping noises. Cool. Yeah, and I was
guess
like...
I did hear. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it just really made you, like, feel like you were in a swamp walking through water.
Yeah. After that, you go through to a church, which was neat. There's a circus-like section that you walk through, and there's also one of those things that scared me a couple times this year, one of those drop bridges inside of, like, the final building thing that you go through.
Yeah.
Most of the sets and props were really cool. Like I said, there is definitely, like, an old-school vibe to a lot of it. Mm-hmm. The only real complaint, like, the main complaint we have is there is a decent amount of dead space.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say, like, 20 to 30%, probably, like, 30-ish% of this haunt is just walking on the trail.
Yeah.
Which, it's a nice trail, and it is a long haunt, which we'll get to in value. It's just, they have the room. I hope they do add a few more scenes. Mm-hmm. And they've been open for a while, so I would like to see a few more scenes to break up, like, just the sections where it's just walking on a trail with a light on it.
Yeah.
But, you know, overall, we really did like sets and props. They have a lot of, like, creative, unique things back there, like building a whole church and a diner and stuff like that. So we would just like to see a little bit more. And some of the scenes are a little rough around the edges, just a few of them. But, like, most of them look, you know, I feel like you can kind of tell some of the newer stuff versus maybe some of the stuff that was originally there.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but yeah. So sets and props, we give it a 7.5. So solid for sets and props. So now we're going to get into actors. So... one of the, and they don't touch or anything like that here, one of the first actors that, well, I guess there was, like, a double scare, actually, inside of the clown I don't know, the bathroom.
The bathroom,
I don't know if they're clowns or not.
I don't think they were. I don't know.
But there was a prop that was, like, talking or making noise on a toilet. Yeah. Then there was a mirror that was a jump scare, and then someone came around the door and scared us, like, right after that. So it was a nice little double tap there. It was kind of cool because we were walking on the trail and all of a sudden one of those lights goes out and there's a guy in a ghillie suit that I legit thought was a bush came running at me. He got me pretty good, actually.
He just needed a can of beans.
Yeah.
I mean, he made noise to himself. He was like, at us, but he needed a can of beans.
Yeah. There was the scene with one of the first actual scenes you go to is like this lab theme and there's this cool doctor. He's kind of like a witch doctor that comes up. And it was kind of interesting because, like, as he's kind of giving us the whole spiel, there's, like, other actors, like, battling each other, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
There's a cool, she was the dentist. She asked, you know, she said that appointments weren't necessary or whatever. And
Yeah, she was freaky. Yeah, she was real freaky.
Yeah, her getup was really one of the freakier, like, makeup jobs that we
she
saw
had on a gas mask backpack. If you're familiar with the musical Little Shop of Horrors, Steve Martin's character, who's the dentist, has this backpack that he puts laughing gas into, and he just wears it while he's operating on his patients and stuff like that. And she actually had that little backpack on, which I thought was kind of funny.
There is the witch in the witch hut actually got me pretty good. She was hidden well. She just came out of darkness. And there's another person hidden in there too that startled me. The Exorcist scene was really cool, and this is a scene I think that has been there for a while. Like, you go in and the doors close and there's, like, a nun and she's performing the exorcism and the lights go out and the girl that's getting exorcised, like, is just kind of when the lights come back on, of course, she's in a different place. She was behind us. But then she, like, jumped up on a dresser and stuff. And
yeah.
she's pretty mobile, I will say. And then, oh, yes. So the strobe maze. These guys, my God. So, like, they're just crawling around on the ceiling. Like, however this is, like, structured. Like, you walk in and the one's just, like, up in the corner like a spider monkey. The one was really crazy because I knew he was real because, like, I'm like, there's no way you have a prop this detailed, like, because it's like, I could see his skin, but there's just, like, a bar, like, maybe, like this thick, and he was just hanging from his, like, pelvis, like, draped over it, like this, he was just draped over it, and then as you're walking by, he reaches out and acts like he's gonna grab you and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, there's all over the ceiling, and there must be, like, however it's designed, where they go up and they can come down, because when we left, I turned around and looked up, and they were, like, up just on top of this thing. It was weird, and, like,
it was freaky.
Yeah, it was really freaky the way, like, I'm just, you're not used to people just, like, I think every scare came from above in that section. It was weird. Yeah, it was really cool.
Very unexpected.
And then probably our favorite actor interaction that I was talking about earlier was, so you get to I just call it the cousin village?
Mama cousin.
Mama cousin. So the whole thing is they're, like, hillbilly type people that, incest is best kind of situation. And so, there's, I forget all, there's, like, sister cousin, mama brother, or like daddy brother, all daddy that kind of weird stuff.
Yeah, they said that their family tree just went straight up and down.
Yep, no branches at all in that thing, they told us. They said, why go down the street when you can just walk across the hall? And that was something that was said. And then we're given into the diner. We're put into the diner where there is, I think that was mama cousin or something like that, or mama sister, something like one of those. And one of the most ridiculous things is she reaches into her bra, presumably into her shirt, and she pulls out a cracker and says, would you like a titty cracker? And then the other one pulls out a graham cracker and says, or a mammogram. My friend Isaac took, I believe, the mammogram, and he ate it. He ate it. Yeah, I got a titty cracker. I did not consume it, however. I am sorry. I appreciate your gift, but I did not consume your cracker.
Yeah.
And also, these actors, most of them have, like, third eyes or deformities. It was so hilarious.
It was so weird and great.
Like,
and
there was a couple, because then you walk through the village, there's a couple jump scares, but it was more of, like, them just saying, I can't remember all the dialogue, but
being goofy. There was this one big guy, and he comes out, and he looks so scary, and then he just starts going, like, dancing, and I'm just like,
it was so weird and surreal that it became a little creepy, just because it was like, what's happening right now? Because it just took this complete tonal shift into, like, dark comedy, and I really liked it.
I did too.
And then, like, after that section, you kind of, like, get back into, like, more normal, like, ooh, spooky haunted house stuff. Yeah. But it was so surreal and cool. I really liked that section. Good job with that, guys. I was a little sad because the cemetery scene was really cool. They had thunder and lightning and all of that stuff, but there wasn't a actor in the scene, which I was a little sad about. And I think it was after that, it was like around there, it was like a devil scene. And, like, the guy that was, like, the goat devil kind of just walked back into the scene and looked at us and just stood in the corner. He didn't really interact with us much at all, so that was a little disappointing. One of my favorite interactions, though, was in the church. And
that was neat.
I don't know how the scare worked because I wasn't really paying attention.
I think it was, like, the pew, or the pulpit.
Well, it opened, but I don't know where so basically there was, like, you go into the church and the door closes behind you, and there's, like, a person that was on the pew, and she's, like, doing her whole spiel, but then she opens it, but then two more people came out from behind her. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they were just crouched behind her and we couldn't see them, or where exactly they came from.
I think the one girl was behind some curtains that were back there.
Maybe.
I don't know where the other one was, because she started backing up into it and started putting them back over her as we were leaving, because I was last in line, and I look over, and she was hollering something to us, and she was just kind of, like, backing into this corner and pulling these curtains. So I think she was hiding behind some drapery or something.
But yeah, it was just really cool the way, like, the two other actors flanked her and came out was a good scare. There was also a really freaky clown, like, right at the, like, towards the end that was, like, I don't really know how to describe it, but basically he ran along the wall because there was, like, these, like, rails, I guess he was running on. But he ran on it at such a speed that it was freaky. I mean, I've seen people do things similar to that, but he did it at such a speed that it really, like, kind of, like, made me step back, and I thought he was going to, like, run right into me, but, So that was really effective. And, of course, you have your chainsaw guy at the end that, chases you out with the chainsaw. But overall, we really liked the actors. There was just a couple There's only a couple dead scenes, but most of them were very interactive. So there's just one here or there that wasn't. The main problem is there was like pretty much no roaming actors on the trail.
Yeah.
Like there was the ghillie suit guy, and there might have been one other, but like I would have liked to see, if you're going to like not have as many scenes as we were kind of saying in sets and props, like I would like to see some people in like black cloaks or in more ghillie suits just hiding in the woods to scare you while you're just on the trail. So it's not just like, oh, we're out of a scene, now we just get to kind of chill until we get to the next scene. Kind of keep you on your toes a little bit more.
Yeah.
I would really like to see that. But for the most part, we really liked actors. And again, some really interesting interactions there. We gave actors an 8. So, moving on to scare factor. I do think this is a fairly family-friendly haunt. I don't think there's anything too crazy here that would freak a child out that's like, you know, decently okay with haunted houses and stuff like that. Now, that being said, there still were some pretty good jump scares. The dark maze is pretty effective because it gets dark in there. Like, they do a good job of making sure once you get into it that you can't see anything. And the actors are like taunting us the whole time, which is cool. Not a lot of gore. It is more like Halloween-y than like gory. There was some.
Like there was some, like in the hospital.
Yeah.
And the diner did have some gross food that was, you know, human parts and things like that. But yeah, there wasn't that like a huge amount of gore.
Now we were like in that section, the incest section, like there was definitely some things that were said to us which were PG-13.
Yeah.
But I imagine they probably toned that down a bit. Like if there's younger kids in the group, like some of the weird stuff they said to us, like, which I liked that a lot. But but for the most part, I think, you know, it's a really good haunt to take the family to. Now, again, this isn't, I'm not, by no means am I saying this is like for like younger children.
No.
But, you know, you're a 13, 14-year-old, this should be okay for them. But we gave scare factor 7. We thought it was like decently scary. I think it's probably just about the right amount of scary for what they're aiming for.
Yeah.
So for value, pretty good value here. One of the cheaper ones, it's $25, but of course you have to have your online fees, which would make it $28. They do sell tickets at the gate, but it's cash only. They do have ATMs on site, but then you're going to pay that fee. I'm assuming that if you pay with cash, I'm thinking it might be $25. I didn't look at the gate.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
So you can research that because it might be a couple dollars cheaper without having to pay the online fees, but it's just more convenient because they are doing time ticketing this year. I guess it's the first year doing time ticketing and Fast Pass, which Fast Pass was $45. I don't know how. I could not find Fast Pass on the website at first, but it is there. And after fees, it's about $48. It is 30 minutes long. Now, you know, keep in mind, this 30 minutes is including all the time that's for the trail. I mean, you're still in the haunt, but, you know, there's not haunt things happening constantly.
Yeah.
But 30 minutes is still pretty long for a haunt. We gave value 8.5. So that's going to bring us to the overall score, which we gave a 7.75. I think this haunt is really good. I do think there is room for improvement in sections here and there, but I do think it's a really solid one. Like, if you're already doing Blood Prison, this one's a really good one. There's also, we don't have reviews this year. Mohican Haunted Schoolhouse is really cool. Used to be known as Lessons in Fear. And there's a new one. Do you remember the name of it? They had a sign for it at this place, at Trail of Nightmares.
Gosh.
It's really close to it, and Kim looked it up. It has a haunted hayride and corn maze.
Yeah.
But it was only like 10 minutes away from Trail of Nightmares.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah.
Field of something.
Yeah. Oh, it might have actually been Field of Screams.
Oh, yes.
It was Field of Screams, because I was like, oh, that's interesting, because there's a few Field of Screams. Of course, there's the really, like, popular one in Lancaster, PA.
Yeah.
But there's a couple others that call themselves Field of Screams as well, so I would like to check that one out, but it was kind of later and stuff like that, and not everybody, you know, had the funds to go to a third haunted house that night, so we ended up just doing the two. But, yeah, you can make. I mean, if you get there early, you're gonna have to do instant access for Blood Prison, but you can technically do 4 haunted houses in one night. Oh, yeah, there's actually a 5th in the area now. There's the Haunted Speedway, which looks interesting. I want to go to that next year. This is their first year, and it looks cool but really short. And I've heard they have plans to make it a lot longer and better next year. But it looks interesting. I mean, it's themed to a haunted garage, like haunted race cars. That's insane. Like, I've seen, like, there's a walkthrough that Scare Factor did, which you can go look up. And there's literally, like cars coming out of the wall and stuff, like the wall's coming down and the car's driving out. It looks really neat, so I want to check that one out next year. But, that being said, if you've been to Trail of Nightmares this year, what did you think about it? Comment below and let us know that. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're ringing the notification bell, so you're not missing any future upcoming videos. There might be one more review coming out, but we also have our We'll have our Haunt of the Year awards, of course, we'll be doing, and we will also have our Yard Haunts video, which we are going to be going to film after making this review. So if that sounds interesting, make sure you keep an eye on the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.